Hi traders and welcome to the F&O Show with Bereez. Today is the day before monthly expiry, so I was expecting some amount of decay in the market, and it did come, no doubt. But uh, by the end of the day, VIX spiked by around it. At one point, it was up by 2.5%. Looks like it settled at only around 1.5% in positive. Nifty made a very range bound move but large move on an intraday basis really. So we started at 18,325, we tested yesterday's day low, then again we came close to 18,320 ish, and from there again we closed near the day's low, that was yesterday's closing as well. So yeah, a very tight ranged move today, only about 80 points move on an intraday basis, and that is somewhat commensurate with where at the money straddle ended as well. Let me show you what the positions I took today. So I entered into 18450 and 18150 strangle, and these two options are only for hedging benefit purposes. So all in all, I only deployed around half of my capital, 1800 quantity, and all that on that it looks like I have made around half of the deployed capital, so about a quarter of my total capital I captured in the decay. I closed at around 230, and the reason for that can be seen on this chart. This particular level, let me mark it, this particular level I was watching really closely, and once this was broken, I was kind of wary as to the rallying that market might give. So after this candle, somewhere here, if on this particular candle I closed, and then market shot up and then again came down. But in this entire move, that strangle price did not decay. So even if I had held on to this particular move, I would have made pretty much the same points of profit. So execution wise okay, plan wise also okay. I'm not really gutted about not capturing this move with some adjustments and so on. Premiums were ultra cheap today, but the trade of the day, if there was, would have been shorting 18,300 straddle, and let me show you why. 18,300 straddle opened at around 114 rupees, and it decayed to 104 rupees thereabout, and this is the price that one could have entered, 104 rupees. And by the end of the day, after going all the way up to 109 110 ish, it closed at around 83. So that these are easy, if I'm not wrong, 10-20 points on an intraday straddle, that to add the money and for a very small stop loss. So sometimes I always wonder if I should just trade at the money 920 straddles, as these are called, and trail the profits. But I prefer the way I do it. Large moves and this straddle could have been a pain to manage. But yeah, in hindsight, this was one of the best trades on an intraday basis. Mind you, I did not take that trade. These were my only positions. Coming back to my positional book, I closed all my positions today at pretty much break even. This is much worse than break even actually, because squaring of so many options does incur a lot of costs in terms of brokerage and STT and whatnot. I'll tell you why I closed actually. So when the day opened, I had a margin call on books. I was 170% over utilization in my margin, because all of these are stock options. So the ones which were in the money and all the short options and all incur additional margin on day before expiry as well as on the day of expiry. So all of these I had to close very early in the morning, in 9:20, and 9:20, though it might be enough for index option prices to settle down, it's not enough for stock option prices to settle down. So I squared off all of these positions at around 2 rupees slippage for each of them. So just in these 10 option positions, I incurred about 10 rupees slippage on overall. I could have held on to this LNT position, which could, so all in all I could have made around 8,000 more if I had held on to this position throughout the day, but I was already managing Nifty intraday, so I just figured it's okay if I take loss also. I will book this off, because even the decay at the open was not as I had expected, so clearly my view was not going as I had planned. So I just cut the losses and focused my attention to my Nifty trade. Now this account will not see any major positional trades just yet. I'll wait for this monthly expiry to get over, and then I will see how the liquidity is and so on. Talking of tomorrow's expiry plan, I'm still tracking this particular structure. So a resistance of 18325, 1850, 18350 zone, and this trend line support. These are my two main structures on which my trade plan will be. But looking at the premiums today, it looks like I'll just have to make a 200 point wide or 150 point wide straddle and keep adjusting as the market moves, because the straddle, because it already closed at around 85-90 rupees today. I am expecting it to open at around 65-70 rupees. So one strike away, the premium would be less than 11-12 rupees. So tomorrow's expiry will be challenging simply because the premiums would be really low. But yeah, looking at today's day and even my Tuesday's trade, even last week's expiry, it feels almost like cheating, because I'm not making any adjustments in my intraday index option selling. I'm not really having to make any adjustments. I'm not having to trail very aggressively, and at the same time this M2M is not going much beyond 0.1%, 0.15% of my capital. So that's a very good situation for option sellers. And I was checking some of the groups. Option buyers are really frustrated because indexes are not making large moves. Even if they are making moves, the option premiums are not increasing commensurately, simply because of the low volatility environment and theta decay and so on. So I'm hoping this continues for at least some more time, and even if it doesn't, markets do not suddenly become hostile towards option sellers really, because then it would be really tricky to trade, and with such low volatility, of course, option premiums will not be there either. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Let's see how tomorrow's expiry plays out. Links to all our socials are in the description. Telegram group where I was sharing my position throughout the day. I was also sharing other observations of the markets, other indices as well. So make sure you join that group and subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you're alerted every time you upload a new video. Thank you.